We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about what animals need so we can figure out how to design housing to meet those needs. When you think about what your basic needs are, we're probably going to come up with food, shelter, and clothing, and that's a little bit different than animals because they normally don't need clothing. Our shelter for our animals need to provide protection from environmental extremes, the sun, the wind, rain, snow. And there's a few different choices we have as far as how we can do this. A shelter might be a pole barn. It can be open-sided and protect them from the sun and the rain. It can be confinement. It can be controlled environment, temperature, humidity, airflow. The temperature is going to be our main consideration when we provide shelter. All the animals that we have around here are warm-blooded animals, and we have to maintain a constant body temperature. When they get outside that optimal body temperature range, the animals have to spend either extra energy on trying to stay cool or trying to stay warm. This comfort zone is called a thermoneutral zone. It's a range of temperatures in which an animal is comfortable. It often correlates with production efficiency. I've often heard for dairy cows that the best temperature for dairy cows is like 60 degrees. Because they don't have to expend any energy to stay cool, and they can go ahead and put that energy in milk production. If we look at heat stress versus cold stress, heat stress results in reduced feed intake, and there's decreased heat then from digestion. You see signs of panting, sweating, blood vessels dilate, and a decreased growth rate. When we look at cold stress, it takes more energy to maintain their body temperature. They bunch up together to try and stay warm. The hair does provide some insulation. The blood vessels constrict and their feed efficiency is reduced. In wet conditions, we have evaporative cooling, where the air evaporates water, and in the process, the air loses heat to the water. It's beneficial in the summer because misters can help moderate high temperatures. However, it can be very harmful in the winter because it uses body heat for drying. It magnifies cold temperatures and wind chill. Ventilation depends on the type of shelter you have. It does provide temperature control and fresh air and odor removal, which are really, really important. You can have sick animals if you don't have enough ventilation. When we look at barns, we need to look at sanitation. And this is basically manure management. How are you going to clean your stalls? In confinement, what are you going to do with the manure? Keep in mind, the less pitching you have to do with a pitchfork, the easier this is going to be to manage. Sanitation also helps with the disease control. You keep your cleans pen, you clean your pens between groups of animals, and you minimize dust and airborne contaminants. Hopefully the information on water is all a no-brainer. It needs to be clean and fresh. They need to have plenty of it. Automatic waters work great for this, and they need to be able to get to the water at all times. Feed, you need to think about your feeding area, what kind of equipment you're going to have to do that, how much bunk space, that's basically how many feet per head that you have. If you have a little tiny feed tub, there's no way you can feed 5 big cows out of that little feed tub. And then feeding on the ground doesn't work so great simply because we have way too much mud. Here's what we're going to look at. You're going to pick an animal. You're going to look at how much indoor area it needs, how much outdoor area, the best temperature that animal survives in, and how much water a day it drinks.